I'm Tom Venner, the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences here at Eastern Michigan University. It's a pleasure for me and the EMU students that are with us today to welcome you to our campus, or I should say to our living room. As Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, I see the relationship between the arts and the sciences every day. It's not natural for me to think of the world existing solely with one or the other of these disciplines. They're essential for us all to realize our full potential. Let me ask you, do you see a correlation between art and health? That's the topic of our next session. Our presenter is Sharalyn Walkons-Davis, a creative arts therapist at the VA Medical Center in Battle Creek, and Staff Sergeant Scott McKee, retired from the U.S. Army, are here to tell us about the extraordinary connection between art and healing. Please welcome.
Good morning. It's great to be here. It's a wonderful conference, and when we're done, we will really be able to enjoy it, so that's fun. I'm here to represent three areas that I've noted in the Creative Convergence focus. The health and well-being, education, because we do provide that at the VA as well, and government. I work with veterans, and like many of you, with lots and lots of rules. So being the creative sort, I'm always on the side of stretching those rules wherever I can. I have been at the VA for 30 years, and I have actually met the retirement requirements. However, my son's generation, I'm wondering what they're going to do with Social Security, so I'm sticking around for a while. So, but in those 30 years, I've seen lots of changes, and the arts are more respected now than they have ever been in the VA system. And we've progressed overall as a healthcare center, and I'm just really proud of what they're doing. As a practicing clinicianist, sorry, I have been aware of the many, many lives that I've touched. A lot of times when folks come to the VA and they leave the VA, you don't necessarily hear how they're doing. You do see the ones that return, but the ones that do well, it's wonderful to hear their stories and to see their lives become better. Music therapy or the arts therapies are really a long-term investment. It's not something you learn overnight and you move on with it, but you're never finished, so it's a wonderful avenue for many people to take up the arts at any point in their life and grow continually through that experience. I'm called a creative arts therapist as part of a group of dance, drama, and art therapists within the VA system. We work within recreation therapy, and then there's the creative arts segment. So I do all of those things actually at the Battle Creek VA, from recreation to music therapy, and just because I have interests in dance, drama, and art, I also help and encourage the veterans to pursue those as well. There's three parts to my presentation. I will first talk about art therapy, and then my work at the VA, and then you'll get a performance by a veteran, Scott McKee, who has taken music therapy exposure that he had and become a performer, and his life has been very impacted by that. So he'll tell you his story, and then we'll perform for you an original song that he wrote. Again, recreation therapy umbrella has me doing so many different things, and music therapy is effective for so many people, but really the arts in general are effective in helping people heal. So we kind of call what we do at Battle Creek VA the Creativity Center. So we work to expose people to all those areas. Oops, okay, that is the one that I do want. Oh well. Okay. Art therapies, again, I mentioned at the VA we have dance, drama, art, and music therapy. We also have positions called poetry therapy, but I did not find that there is one at the moment working in the VA system. Art therapies, 50% of it is your artist training, and I'm a musician, so you're a member of the School of Music, and have a strong background in perfecting my own art. And then 50% really of the therapy element is the relationship building. That's the psychology part. While the arts in general can be very meaningful for people, art therapy, we work in a more in-depth way with the individuals. We provide an environment for the healing. Did I do that? Oh, that's sorry. We provide the environment for healing, and that environment is intended to touch mind, body, spirit healing. And what is music therapy? We use music and art in individually prescriptive ways, touching the social, emotional, intellectual, behavioral focus, using relaxation and teaching techniques, a lot of group actions. The music's effect on your physiology, many of you may be aware that when you're listening to music, the beat of the music impacts your heartbeat. And I'll have a lot of veterans come back from the war right now who are really tuned into heavy metal, strong, hard music, and they may not want to let go of that, but when we talk about that is affecting how they feel, do they want to continue to feel that way, we start to introduce them to maybe more gentle music. It still has to be music they prefer or enjoy, but the beat and the harmonies or disharmonies in the music definitely affect your physiology. Your heart will seek to match the beat of the music you listen to, so when you want to exercise and get all jazzed up, best to listen to strong beat music. You go in any exercise center and you'll hear that strong bass going on and at a fast pace, and your heart will seek to match that, which then energizes your blood pressure, your brain activity, your muscle tension starts to pick up. So we work a lot with folks who are constantly on. They are hypervigilant, and a part of their healing is to let loose of that wall, and that can begin with putting on relaxing music, talking people through a relaxed experience, and moving forward with a little more openness, hopefully on part of the veteran. So the music will seek to jazz your heart rate up or relax your heart rate, which then controls your brain activity, your muscles, and everything kind of lets loose and lets go. One of the newer fields in music therapy right now is the neurological music therapy. So there's a lot of study right now. Music therapy is a very well-researched field, which it had to be just to be able to explain to people, no, this is not just fun and games. There really is a reason why we're doing these things. And as I say, the neuro is a new area, and there's a specialty degree in neuromusic therapy using brain analysis. In the VA, there are 112 music or creative arts therapists. And, you know, that kind of sounds like a lot, but when you think across the whole country, there's only 112. That's not very many. 70 are music therapy, 40 are art therapy, and 5 are dance. I think most of them are dance and music therapy, and then 2 drama. And we do have a possibility for poetry therapy, too. I'm hoping with the new initiatives that will continue to grow, and it helps to have music therapy or internships, and we're working on that again too. The VA, I feel, was very visionary in its earliest beginnings, and it really began in its strongest way following World War II. And as far as music therapy, that resulted from that too. In World War II, many of the veterans were coming into the medical centers, and a lot of the VFW, American Legion groups wanted to entertain the veterans, so they came in with musical entertainment, and it began to be noted that those individuals who enjoyed the music, who energized and perked up and really seemed to be getting something positive from that, were healing faster. They were showing less signs of depression, and pain was managed to a better degree than other methods they were using. So they began to so the study came from that. And all, is that moving? Okay. All veterans are eligible for health care through the VA. And the mission statement, you can read there, Lincoln's promise to care for him who shall have borne the battle and for his widow and his orphan. There are new challenges these days in the VA system. There we go. We work with veterans right now from the age of 18 to over 100 in one medical center. When I first started there 30 years ago, there were 1,200 inpatients. Now we have about 300 inpatients, and they're in a PTSD program, substance abuse programs, psychiatry, some medical, and then the nursing home. Many more are living out in the community, and I think some of these statistics kind of represent what might be happening a little bit. 1/3 of the homeless people in America are veterans, 20% seen in VA healthcare, and that's certainly not everyone, but especially the younger group have traumatic brain injury. 12 to 15% show signs of PTSD, and that may be on the low side because so many coming back now have PTSD. 40% of VA patients have mental disorders or psychiatric behavior problems. 22 veterans die each day from suicide. So we have a lot of work to do, and we have to provide much more than traditional physical medicine. And especially since the most recent 12-year war, the need for mental health services is really at the forefront right now. And President Obama in 2012 addressed the need through his executive order to improve access. And so I hope that's good news for Creative Arts Therapies. It is already good news in general because there are a lot of new programs springing up, especially in the social work arena. There we go. And self-expression is where it's at, is what I kind of term what we do. Creative arts therapies are integral to self-expression, and life, we believe, is an adventure meant to be enjoyed and explored without fear, and much of what leads to mental illness seems to be fear. Expression is freedom, so when we are expressing on the outside, we are not depressing, repressing, compressing, we are progressing. So we're looking to find avenues for people to express their feelings, thoughts. Some samples of meditative art class. When veterans come in for the first time to our clinic, they don't usually want to do a whole lot of anything. So we get them started with some art activities and I say splash color. So this is an individual who is fairly fresh from the Iraq War. And when he first came in, he painted the picture of himself. And he had some interest in art. And he said he just couldn't remember what his face looked like. And the next picture, or the one that was connected to that, oops, there we go. That is actually a war scene that he had just left. And from the first picture, he was kind of quiet. He drew or painted the picture. And then the next one, he came in and he was just ready to do this full exploration. And it was almost kind of powerful for us to deal with. But he just very frankly told his story. And that beginning is where the therapy in the other arenas with the psychologists, social workers can begin to take place too. This is a female who came in, had suicide attempts prior to being at the VA. And in the first picture, again, I'm not sure what that is, but the face, you know, she felt faceless. And she had enjoyed art in the past too. The second picture, she had eyes, and the blue, I think, represented some healing. The next picture, she has more of a face. It's still not too much of an expression. And then the last picture of herself was the bottom picture where she was singing some music. And the other two pictures are part of her art that came later, and just to kind of demonstrate that she did have some ability to paint and was beginning to unlock that. So the next, just a few others. A map or a roadway to the VA, the lost journey that many express, and the feeling of being stressed. The bottom flag looking was a woman who had been there several months, and a young veteran again who got to the place of freedom and is doing very well. And the other, you can barely see the recovery, is kind of written in there with the finger, and it's undoing ruin. So. And this is just a beautiful painting that was just submitted. We had an art event at the VA last week. We're in the middle of the National Veterans Creative Arts Festival, January through March each year. Veterans enter performances or art projects in a variety of areas, and that was submitted by a veteran who's a very talented artist and very talented singer. And I just mentioned that. The competition is in music, dance, drama, art, creative writing, and Scott McKee is here with me today. He was a 2009 winner, took up guitar while coming to the VA, and became very wrapped up in guitar. I say he's never put it back down. And he wrote a song, Spirit of the Music, after maybe 6 months of playing guitar and songwriting, and he won a first place national award and was invited to the festival in Riverside, California that year. And the festival seeks to not only recognize talents, but the overcoming of the traumas that people have experienced. So without further ado, and I'm running late, Scott is here to tell a little bit about his story, and then we're going to perform one of his other original songs called It's a New Day.
Hello. My name's Scott McKee. I was in the Army for quite a while, kind of semi-retired, if you will. I work at the VA in Battle Creek in the Recreation and Music Department. I'm from Grand Rapids, but now live in Battle Creek. You know, I'm glad to get a chance to talk today to you know, illustrate a positive story of what music and arts, the connection there with healing and recovery. At age 19, I went into the service, and I had a great job. I was a medical technician, a laboratory tech. I traveled around all over Europe. I worked for a blood bank, so I began drinking like crazy over in Germany. The beer was good, you know, and I got to a point where alcoholism just took root there in Germany. When I came back as a civilian, I had good jobs, and I you know, had good you know, health care. So I never really recognized the VA as an option for me for years. So after like 2 failed marriages, yeah, I slowly deteriorated. My condition did, as far as the alcoholism. You know, I hit bottom, severe depression, the whole shot. Then I found myself at the VA. So at that point, I was, you know, I was introduced to music and stuff. I think I'm a great example of someone who, yeah, I'm living proof of what the arts can do. Now, not necessarily just the act of playing music itself, but it puts us in a spot where healing can really move ahead and find its way, whether it's, you know, like to open your mind for a group or whatever you might have later in the day. So right now I work with Sharalyn in the music department. I give lessons: guitar, bass, drums. I play at events, parties. I play on some of the locked wards we have, which are like psych wards that we have there at the VA, and have a really good positive impact on the vets that are there. I'd like to do a song called A New Day, and it illustrates that, you know, regardless of what's happened in the past, which is my story, you know, it's you know, we can make a new start, and that's what the song is about. And I think we're ready to go with that right now, huh?
Testing.
you wanna go someplace that you've never been. Step outside yourself and let that trip begin. And when it makes you laugh, it might just make you cry. Put on your wings of love, let your spirit fly. It's a new day, it's time to put away the past. It's a new day, the loneliness won't last. It's a new day, yeah. Brown eyes sparkle when you look at me and smile. Come sit down beside me for a little while. And when tomorrow comes, we'll know just what to do. Whatever tomorrow brings, our love will see us through. Thank you.